So, what's your name?
I'm Josephine.
And what year are you?
I'm a freshman this year.
Oh, really?
Yes.
What made you decide to come to USC?
I wanted to come out of state because I was just kind of wanted a change of pace, and my mom actually came to USC.
Really?
So that was definitely a factor for me. And when I visited the campus, I just felt a lot more at home here than when I visited other campuses. So I applied and got accepted to a school in my home state, but I just wasn't sure about it. And when I came to USC, I felt completely differently. I just felt like this is where I was supposed to be for the next 4 years.
So where are you from originally? If not
Virginia.
from the state? Virginia. What part?
Fredericksburg. I live in Fredericksburg.
Awesome. Cool. So what organizations are you involved in or around campus?
On campus, I'm an eco rep, so it's a group of peer leaders advocating for sustainability around campus. And we actually have an event tomorrow. But besides that, I do club swimming, and so with eco reps, you also do hall government. So we participate in the hall government meetings. And I don't know, around campus, not as many things yet, but I like the Cocky Canines Club.
Yeah.
I've reached out to them, and also the homelessness outreach.
So you do club swimming. Did you used to swim in high school too?
Yeah, I did.
Awesome. That's really cool. So we were talking earlier about kind of getting into religion once you're in college and how it's different from your home church. How have you found that to be kind of the struggles and the benefits of getting into a new church?
Yeah, it was difficult for me coming here at first to find a spiritual ground because there were so many different church organizations offering different Bible studies and just church activities like dinners and just small groups, and I didn't really know which one because I'm originally Episcopalian, but there were all these Baptist ones, there were RUF, Romans, Crusaders, stuff like that. So I just went to a couple churches with my friends. My friends took me to New Spring and then different churches, and finally I knew that there was an Episcopalian church nearby, Trinity, and I went there, and so that's where I kind of found my home church base, and they have a pretty similar program to what I have experienced at home, and I really enjoy going to Trinity, and I really like the atmosphere there, and they have a lot of different programs for youth and young adults, and they have a community outreach, so if I wanted to do community service, I could do it there, and they just have a lot of different volunteer opportunities and just ways to be involved while still being a student on campus, so I think that's important.
Yeah, that's really important. What makes you feel like you're a Gamecock?
I think my mom, really, which is a strange answer, but she is a Carolina super fan. She heads up alumni groups in Virginia for students coming to Carolina. She watches every game religiously, knows all of the players' names, and so my mom knows a lot more about Carolina football and a lot more about Carolina than me, but she's definitely instilled that Gamecock spirit in me, I think, so that's why I appreciate Gamecock tradition.
What are your favorite hobbies to do?
I love swimming. I swim almost every day. Other than that, I like walking around campus and walking around the town. So if I'm walking to church, I'll swing by a juice store or something like that. I like exploring places. And I don't know, I like to read and write, but mainly swimming, I think, is my biggest pastime.
What's your favorite stroke?
I like backstroke a lot.
Really?
I think freestyle is probably my best stroke, just because it's the easiest and the fastest for me to do. But I prefer backstroke. I really like backstroke.
I remember when I was a kid in youth swimming, I was always afraid I was going to hit my head on the back of the wall.
Oh, I've hit my head several times. It's not pleasant, but you get through it. No concussions thus far. Awesome.
And let's see, one last question. What do you want to be when you grow up?
I want to be a pediatric oncologist.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
I am so interested in cancer and oncology, and it's such a pressing problem at this point. One of my favorite books, The Emperor of All Maladies, it's by Siddhartha Mukherjee, though not many people can pronounce his name. In the very beginning of the book, there's a startling statistic. It's 1 in 4 Americans will develop cancer in their lifetime. And of those, a large percentage are children. And there are just so many developments within the oncology field, but there are so many more developments to be made. We still don't have a universal cure. We barely have any cures whatsoever. And right now there's like a huge issue with treatments, because people will be treated for cancer with chemotherapy, but that chemotherapy is so toxic and degrading to bodily functions. And not only that, the chemotherapy can also cause blood cancers and leukemias. I have a friend at home who developed cancer. She was a childhood friend of mine, and she developed cancer, sarcoma, and she had a 15% survival rate, but she survived. But the chemotherapy gave her leukemia.
Wow.
And so it's just a really, really pressing problem, I think, and I would love to be able to somehow make an impact in that field.
Oh, that is so awesome. That's really cool.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
It was great to talk to you.
Awesome
Join
to
us
talk to
next
you.
time with Talk the Town and Coffee on the Horseshoe. And until then.
Sparkling vampires and circus werewolves, and poor families must send their children to a wizarding school where they'll fight to the death. And